Hey Gemini, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Jamie. And this reading could resonate if you're a Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus placement. If you're new to tarot, it's important to understand that not every Gemini reading is going to resonate with you. So if you feel like I'm wrong or this isn't your reading, you are absolutely right. Please disregard it. Only take readings that resonate with your life. I'm also going to pull cards like King, Queen, Emperor, and Empress. Those cards describe a very specific personality, but have nothing to do with the sex or gender of the person we're describing. So if I pull a Queen of Wands, I could be talking about a guy. If I pull an Emperor, I could be talking about a woman. It's all about that personality. If you want to catch more readings, you can click subscribe. If you want to be notified every time I post, you can click the notification bell. And I offer a membership as well. If that is something that you're interested in checking out, you can just click the join button. Of course, you do have to be subscribed to join. It'll show you everything on the membership tab and what goes on over there. Okay, so we're just looking at the juicy stuff this week, kind of see what's going on in your life. I'll start with the oracle and we'll clarify everything with the tarot. Guys, make sure to check out your June monthly. I'll be posting those this week. They're more detailed. I give sort of like the main astrological elements that are happening. And of course, we go over the tarot so you know what the heck is happening for the next month. Okay, so we have depression, obviously the lowering and or elevation of one's mood. Take time to breathe out and fight. Arguments, physical fights at war or competing. The overall energy here is the Six of Swords. Supporting, we have the Four of Wands in the reverse, the Ten of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. And at the bottom of the deck in the challenge position, we have the Six of Wands. What I see here is a lot of folks wanting to escape the situation that they're in when it comes to their home life. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords, which is a card of wanting to move on, to some calmer period of time, and wanting more peace in life. But this is more with the cards surrounding it, especially with this depression, the arguments, the fighting. It feels like the situation is pretty hostile and you'd like to escape it. I think that you often fantasize escaping the situation. What's really going on here is that you're just burnt out, I think completely overwhelmed with the instability in the house. So what I would say here, the Four of Wands in the reverse is instability in the home. The home is not happy. The Ten of Wands, obviously, having, feeling like there's too much responsibility, like you're just overburdened. You could feel really burnt out and mentally and physically exhausted here. And when it comes to communication with the Queen of Swords, you could be sort of direct and trying to set boundaries. But the truth is, you and someone else are just having a battle of the egos. It's like nobody wants to be wrong, everybody wants to be right, everybody wants to win. It's like essentially the arguments that are happening inside of this home it's not conflict that is meant to be resolved. There's no resolving the conflict. It's like, two people just want to win. And therefore nothing ever really gets solved in this situation. That's what I'm seeing. And so you could feel like you really need some time to yourself right now, that you might want to just get out of the situation and take a break. So it looks like it's a really challenging week, especially with family, or definitely a spouse or partner. Death in the reverse, Scorpio energy, the King of Cups, the Three of Wands in the reverse, and at the bottom of the deck, the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. It kind of looks like nothing seems to change here. And part of this is the fact that, it would require emotional stability in order to do so. So it's sort of like, there's a lot of emotional dysregulation here, and I feel like your mood is all over the place. Your emotions are all over the place. It's almost like there is no patience between you and another person, and it just seems like nothing is really being offered here. Nothing is changing. There's just nothing to work with, and I feel the stress. Now, I'm not going to offer any advice because, again, this seems like a romantic relationship and everybody's on their own wave and they want their own things. But what I would say with this depression card is that maybe this is a back and forth energy. Maybe sometimes the relationship's not in a good place. You could be challenging because you're a Gemini and your communication can be very direct and cutting at times. And another person can sort of just be, I want to say, uncaring. It's like the two of you will argue and fight just to get points across. And it's, again, to not resolve anything. Nothing is actually going to change here because nobody's looking to change. They're looking for the other person to change. They're looking for the other person to hear them but not to listen. Seems like you're a pretty typical relationship, but I think that that back and forth has something to do internally with what's going on with you emotionally and mentally, where sometimes things are good and when things are bad, they're all the way bad. You'll have an all the way low. So instead of constantly focusing on another person and waiting around for them to change, you may need to actually make the changes, whether it's escaping the situation or really starting to understand your own energy. And instead of getting into these fights, learning how to pick and choose those battles, really understanding the times that you're more vulnerable and more willing to, have conflict. Sort of taking time out to be alone and breathe and not get so involved with this person in the heated arguments. Because I feel like sometimes you don't want to leave, but when you're really, really upset, you're ready to run. But I feel like when you get upset, it's, it's all emotional, it may not be these big things that are actually happening here, but it's something, it's almost like waiting for peace to take place in a relationship where we don't make any changes ourselves. We're also conflict oriented and always ready to fight this person and really not emotionally feeling our best. when we start to feel like that, it might be time to really like withdraw and start to pay attention to ourself, our needs, take care of ourself in those times, you know? Hot baths, you know, doing your nails, skincare routine, like really just sitting with yourself and spending some time alone and really getting your energy right instead of, you know, getting involved with this really low vibrational shit within the household. All right, I'll see you guys next week.